Alright guys, what is going on? So today we are going to be starting the S52 for the first time today, and we have a couple of things to get done. Before we do that, we got to put a wheel on, we got to put an exhaust on, and then we got to get the duckling on the ground. We got the gang, the gaggle of boys here. This is a 3.1 liter custom S52, 8.5 to 1 compression, forged pistons, forged H-beam rods.
It's a fully forged motor.
It's a built motor. It's a fully built motor. We held the piston and rods in our hands, boys.
We did.
Built this thing from the fucking nothing, bro. I'm super freaking excited to hear this thing fire up. Hopefully it all goes well.
The loud exhaust is on here, huh?
I put the straight pipe on. Straight pipe for first start, bro.
I haven't seen it this low in such a long time.
I don't think you've ever seen it this
Yeah, I
low.
have.
Have you?
Yeah, when I had the motor in.
Oh, yeah. Like when I had the short block in it, it sat higher.
There you go.
It's gonna be sick as fuck, or it's gonna suck ass.
I heard stuff moving.
Yeah.
And the CD changer?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Great success.
You're ready.
I'm fucking nervous, bro.
It's gonna happen anyways.
It's gonna go
I know.
fine, bro. We did everything. We double checked. We fucking triple checked. Like.
Alright, we have oil pressure.
Great success.
Fucking gnarly, brother.
Dude, it's spinning so nice too.
Dude, I can't even feel it spin, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
That thing is just fucking butter. Jesus. Let the ritual of the spark plug insert begin. Brand new NGK UPs.
Are those pre-gapped?
Well, they don't. These don't use a gap.
Oh, they don't? Oh, yeah. But your stock ones did, right?
The stock ones are exactly like this.
Oh, are they?
They're 2-pronged, not 4-pronged.
Every time I see an ST rolling around town, just always have to fucking look. I'm like, is it in? No.
Look at this anxious boy.
Ooh. My body is ready.
I'm gonna Snapchat Merrick this. Like you're missing out, bro.
That fool probably slept through his alarm.
Fucking in the morning, bro.
It is my time.
I am Lady of Lake. I bestow upon you Excalibur. You are now King of Avalon.
Great success. Is that Alex?
Yeet. What's up, beautiful?
It better be on someone's face.
What's up, beautiful?
Would you like to torque down the last one?
Oh!
I will give you half of my torque.
Oh! Thank you.
And then
There it is.
Go.
Look at this shaky motherfucker.
Bro, I'm nervous for you,
You should have
dog.
seen
Like,
him dripping, bro. He was like this.
really? I can imagine, bro. There's been a lot of time in this bitch. This is like the dad watching the bride come down the fucking aisle, bro. Tears are about to be in this fool's eyes.
This is worse, bro.
I bet you a single tear will come from this kid's eye.
When the dad is walking the daughter down the aisle, there's zero chance that a connecting rod is gonna come flying through the block.
The sun shining on Danny's head. Got a bald head.
I got a ball head.
Should hear compression, though. You guys ready?
You got a password? Hold on.
Alright, plug it in, Arthur. You good?
To hear it run.
For real, though.
Yeah.
Serious?
Still missing.
Oh, it's gonna be hot today, Sean.
There aren't like a million drains in there either.
Yeah, no.
I feel like I'm carrying a suitcase with the launch codes or something, you know?
Pretty much are.
Basically.
We're trying to make explosions happen.
Alright, send it. Just low compression.
You might be.
I emailed the tuner, but he didn't reply.
You should unhook the fuel pump thing again, and then just crank it so you get all the stuff.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
You'll be fine.
Oh, it's not a rest in peace. It
Good
just took
try.
a nice little nap.
Good beam.
It's hot right here. Ow.
It spun over nicely. It sounded like it was building compression very nicely before it fired up. And I'm fucking praying to God that it didn't fuel wash my rings. It was running a little bit rich, but it didn't sound like it was too bad. It sounded more like it was struggling to run than it was actually misfiring, which is a good sign. But this is really not the way I wanted the start of the motor to be, but, you know, learn as you go, figure it out. Alright, I will see you guys next time. Did you really think I was going to end this video on a no? Dude, fuck no. Alright, so it's been a couple of days, and I sat, I meditated, and I had a fucking epiphany. If you guys watched the series on the whole story of this car up until this point, for about a year and a half it had a cracked cylinder head and a bad cylinder head gasket. And so I was fighting the engine to figure out why it was having that issue. So it was misfiring like intermittently for about a year and a half. And then I fixed that. It ran fine for about maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and then the block cracked and it ran about a gallon of BMW blue. Just straight out the tailpipe. And I was thinking about it and I realized the fucking catalytic converter. So first of all, this car's a 98, and that is the factory catalytic converter, which means it's basically 20 years old at this point. Now, a lot of catalytic converters don't even make it to be 20 years old on the car because they just sort of go bad over time. So this cat is 20 years old and it's probably fucked. Not even to mention the fact that I ran about a year and a half worth of misfires through bank 1 on the catalytic converter, so that fucked it, and then the block cracked on cylinder 6 and I ran about a gallon of coolant through bank 2 on the cat. So that probably fucked it even worse. And then I took the catalytic converter off and it sat there for like 2 years. So I'm willing to bet the catalytic converter just clogged as fucking shit, and that's the reason it wasn't running very good. It sounded more like it was having a rough time idling than it was actually just having a misfire or something. Something was up with it. It just couldn't breathe right. So I took the catalytic converter completely out. That's the dog right there. It also threw 2 ECU codes. So it threw 2 codes for the secondary air injection system, the secondary air pump. Aside from that, the DME was fine. I talked to the tuner. He said this tune should be fine for a low compression engine. One, the catalytic converter is clogged, so we delete that. So we're running basically open headers now. I also went ahead and blocked the vacuum line for this off and on that side, so this guy cannot be causing any more issues here. And then I plugged the vacuum line. So this shit isn't even connected right now. So the vacuum line that runs into the manifold is completely teed off. So that should be good. We should have no issues with that. I'm hoping that that was the issue. I'm hoping that this thing runs fine now. I also picked up a concentrated fuel system cleaner. I'm running a brand new tank in 91. Drink, bitch. I'm going to take the ignition coils that I'm running and the ignition coil wiring harness because I think the wiring harness was having some issues before. And I'm going to plug it into that car because I know that car runs perfectly fine. So if I plug these coils in and plug the harness in and then it has an issue running, we have an issue with either the harness or one of the ignition coils. That way I can just sort of test whether these are properly working or not. Alright, so here are the ignition coils and the ignition wiring harness out of the sedan. And we have installed the ignition wire harness and the ignition coils from the drop top. Now we're going to fire it up. If it has issues running now, it's either one of the bad coils or the wiring harness is bad. It runs fine. So that's a good sign. That means that all those ignition coils and the ignition wire harness are running good and as it should, basically. So that shouldn't be the culprit. So we're going to move all that stuff back in, but before we do that, I want to pull all the spark plugs out and reprime the engine because it's been about 4 days since this thing actually ran last, since we had last oil pressure going through it. And I don't want to start this thing without good oil pressure, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to fire it up and see if it actually works properly this time. Alright, we got all the plugs out. Now we're going to roll it out and prime it. Let's get this bitch plugged back in. Alright, so now we spin it till we have oil pressure. There we go. Now our plugs go back in. Alright, so the ignition system is back on. Hopefully it actually works properly this time. Young Lex back out here. There it is. So I was thinking, like, it didn't sound like it was misfiring. It just sounded like it was running like shit, right? It was having a rough time idling.
Sure.
Sure? Okay. So
Go on.
I ran about 1.5 years with a misfire.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then the block cracked, and I ran about 1 gallon of coolant out the exhaust system.
Yeah, it sounded more like I had cams when we actually did.
Yeah.
In comparison to other
But
misfire.
catalytic converters are really, really shit at taking misfires. The raw fuel just fucking clogs them up.
Oh.
And then running a gallon of coolant through it made it way worse. So I'm thinking the catalytic converter was just clogged
Okay.
and it couldn't get the exhaust gases out. So we're running open headers.
Fuck it.
Fuck it, yeah, well, we're gonna see. And it threw 2 secondary air pump codes for this guy. So I like blocked him off on both sides and then on the manifold. So we're running no secondary air pump system and no basically headers to nothing. So it's gonna be loud as fuck. It's gonna be loud as fuck.
Your main idea at that point was, I want this bitch to run.
Yeah, I don't care how loud it is. If it fucking works, it works, you know what I'm saying? And maybe not even a foot of tube. You can see where it ends down there. It just ends. If it runs right, you'll be the first one to start it up and it runs right. So just know you're privileged. So that's the oil pressure light.
Yeah.
Watch that light. If the engine fires up, that light should turn off in like maybe a second. If it stays on, shut it off.
Okay.
Because that means there's no oil pressure.
Okay.
Which is bad.
Very bad.
So I have the fuel rod disconnected, so just spin it until that light goes out. So that should have good oil pressure.
Just stay on.
Just stay starting. Just stay starting. It's not going to fire up right now.
Okay.
But just spin it until that light goes out.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, we just got to get oil pressure in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
Okay,
spin
gotcha.
that shit.
Okay, right now?
Yeah. There we go. Alright, shut it off. Let's get some fuel rail going. Are you giving it gas?
Not at all. My foot's only on the brake.
I wonder if one of the fuel injectors is bad.
Is that a possibility?
It is a possibility. Yeah. So we got a P0601, which is an internal control memory check malfunction. And the P0601 is a general OBD2 code referencing a fault with the internal control memory. This code may be seen with other ECU codes and various other codes depending on the symptoms. So there's an error within the internal control module. So I wonder if that's why it's running like shit. It says most common for the P0601 are ECU failing or has failed or low voltage to the ECU. Alright, so I either think the tune is super fucked up or that ECU is on its way out. So I think we're going to take the one from that car and see if that fixes it.
Hopefully it works.
Hopefully it works. Because if this car breaks that ECU, I don't have either car.
Famous last words.
Famous last words. So,
Screwdriver.
so there is and then one down there, and then this cover will pivot and then come out. This black part.
Yep.
If you like hold this here and then pull it out, it should come out.
Okay.
I'm really hoping that wiring harness isn't fucked, because that would suck ass. Let's mark this one Little Wing. That way we don't forget.
Back from whence you came.
Back into the depths.
Nice.
Alright, let's fucking party.
Mama bear battle ride. Whoa! Oh! Oh! Oh my god. There she is. Woo! Listen to that! Yeah!
Oh, I heard that inside. I'm like, nah, it's working.
Fucking ECU was fucked.
What?
It was the ECU.
The engine computer was fucked.
I love it.
Oh my goodness. Look at that smile. He's so happy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he can't stop smiling. My dumb ass about to walk to the back, ask for an exhaust shop, but there's no fucking cats, there's no exhaust, there's no headers, there's literally, I'm stupid.
Fucking brother.
Dude, I'm like bewildered.
Dude.
Speechless.
I don't even, like, I can't believe this thing even ran. I know we put a lot of fucking work into this car and a lot of fucking money, but like, shit.
Yeah, we.
That's me motherfucker. That shit's fucking cool, bro. Alright, so let's bleed the cooling system the rest of the way, get it up to temp, and then, well fuck, now I gotta get a new ECU and get that one tuned, so I'm gonna email the tuner and see what they say.
Fucked it up, bro.
I don't know, maybe he just like got fucked up in transport. I don't believe that he fucked it up. You know, I think something else happened. Bruh. Castle, they're good guys. I'm not gonna rip them a new one. So I don't believe it was them. So I'm gonna email him, see what he has to say. I'm probably gonna buy a new ECU, probably have it tuned by them again. But I mean, fuck, dude, that was it. The ECU the whole time. So I kind of suspected something was up when it threw the P0600, which is the Autotrans code, and then it threw the P0601 code, which I was like, all right, let's just swap ECUs. Alright, so we're all the way up to temp. Fucking good, bro. Nice and hot, pressurized. Damn. Yee, doggy. I think we're golden, baby. I think that's it.
I'm in disbelief.
Dude, that's fucking tits, bro. I'm fucking hyped.
We put into this thing.
The fact that we held the little parts in our hands, bro. You know what I mean?
I know. I was just thinking like
Holding the pistons and the rods
for real.
to fucking this shit running now. Like, fuck. This is the second engine I built. This is the first engine I built that runs. The M50 hasn't run yet.
You don't know if it does. Though.
Yeah, I don't know if it does though. I know this runs now. I didn't know if this ran the whole time I was building. I was like, I fucking hope. I spent a lot of money, I hope. Shit. That's a good feeling, boys. That's a good feeling. Alright, so now we gotta put that ECU back in that car so I actually have a car to drive.
I mean, you gotta put
I gotta put the ECU back in that
so you gotta
fucking
go
car.
drive.
Well, there's still a lot of work to be done, but fuck, I'm hyped that that thing ran, and it's running fucking well, dude. This has been, it's been like 2 years since I've even driven this car, so, oh.
To hear it run is insane. Not even like getting behind the wheel, driving it, just hearing it start up with an actual idle.
Yeah, right? Fuck, dude. This car has given me so many problems. And now actually having like a stout, good motor in it is like fucking nice, dude. Alright, I'm gonna end it here, you guys. I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep it fresh, and I'll see you guys later.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. That's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious. That's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow.
What'd you do?
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Quinn,
Shut the fuck up, bro.
what'd you do?
Shut the fuck up, bro.
What'd you do?
I didn't disconnect the battery on the bucket when I pulled the ECU off. So, for those of you guys who were wondering what happens when you leave the battery on and pull the ECU out, we're gonna find out right now, because I just plugged the battery on this. If this shit doesn't run, that's what happens.
That's what's about to.
Then if I fried the ECU, then neither car runs.
Oh.
So this shit better fucking work right now.
Sigh of relief.
You guys are gonna like.
Good meme.